Hi, April Stevens here with the April Stevens team and RE/MAX One, coming to you from the Triangle in North Carolina. Thanks so much for stopping by our video blog. As always, if you're thinking of looking for a home, please feel free to click the link below that says search for homes. Or if you're thinking of selling and you'd like a free market analysis, click the link that says free price evaluation. Okay, so this market has seemed to be filled with either bidding wars or low offers. There's not been a whole lot of in between. I myself feel that we price our listings very marketably to sell, but there are some conditions, neighborhood conditions, market conditions, that type of thing that make a home stay on the market a little bit longer than we would like. And most of the time that gives buyers the green light to submit a low offer. And my advice to sellers is always, let's take every offer at face value. So the first rule is don't get insulted. If you just reject and you say no, you're essentially taking your ball and going home. There's no further ring up the ladder. There's nowhere else to go if we just reject it. So the first advice is don't get insulted, and we're going to respond gracefully. So I know it's your house. I know you've put so much time, effort, and energy to it, and I agree with you, but taking it personally and getting insulted is not going to achieve anything. So what we want to do is respond gracefully. We want to, try to find out what is making the buyer tick. What is most important? Is it price? Is it concessions? Is it closing costs? Are they worried about the condition of the property? That's one of the things I feel like we're strong at here at the April Stevens team is trying to figure out exactly what is this buyer looking for in our negotiations. So part of our counter strike, if you would, is to create a strategic counter offer. Again, we've already found out what is the buyer's ticking points, and we pride ourselves on kind of being creative and finding out what makes the biggest difference to the buyers. Is like we said, is it closing costs or concessions? And there are ways that you can communicate two different offers or counter offers essentially, and trying to figure out which one is the closest to what the buyer is really looking for. Again, I know a lot of my clients say, we don't want to play the game. We don't want to be in this, this big counter offer war and that type of thing. Again, we try to limit the counters to as much as possible, and that's what's most important about making a strategic first counter offer. But there are times, again, that the buyer's just kind of like, well, what about this and what about that? And in a buyer's mind, most of the time, they're only looking at one large number. They're not necessarily looking at what the difference is to their payment. So we try to be sensitive to that, and we try to educate them on what they're looking for is not to our best interest, because a seller is going to be receiving a check at closing, whereas a buyer is typically going to be making payments. So what are their sticking points? What are the things that we really need to be negotiating on that they may not have considered? One of the things as sellers we can do is ask buyers for fewer contingencies, ask buyers for more money up front and due diligence fees, ask them for going ahead and putting it out there, even though our contracts state as is that the buyer is agreeing to purchase this property and as is condition. It's one of those unwritten rules that typically people negotiate. But if we go ahead and have that conversation up front of, hey, we're willing to accept it at this price because you put up strong due diligence and you don't have any contingencies. However, the seller is also not anticipating making a large amount of frivolous repairs. If we have that conversation up front and the buyers are kind of like, no, we don't anticipate asking for cosmetic things and little things that we're probably going to change or fix anyway, that's a lot of stress off the seller. Thanks so much. Again, as always, April Stevens with the April Stevens team. We're here for all of your real estate resource needs. If we can help with anything, give us a call at 919-625-0211 or check us out on the web at theaprilstevensteam.com. Thanks so much.